Hey guys, T-Bull here. Today we got to look at the Jean Bart for you. I got Bob Jojo on the screen there. It's an old build, but it checks out. Game on the map Neighbors, domination mode game. We're going to be moving forward in this. Now, a lot of times when the Jean Bart's on your team, they'll only move backwards for the first 8 to 10 minutes. The strategy there is try and preserve your HP. You don't want to shoot anyone. You don't want to be seen for the entirety of the match. You want to wait till all your team's dead because you're not supporting them. Then you'll find yourself in a 1v7, 1v8, maybe even a 1v9. But if you got all your HP still in the bank, you might win that 1 out of, 500 times or so. So that's the normal strategy you see with Jean Bart. We're going to mix it up a little bit, though. We're going forward. We actually popped the speed boost right off the bat. We're going to go over there and try and help capture C. You want to get the C flank on this map, if possible. Much easier when you're trying to defend C and B, or A and B, between those two groupings, C and B is much easier to defend because you got a lot of island cover over there. So that's the play over here. This guy's going to rub us. I guess he's just not looking at us, which isn't the end of the world. It does slow us down a little bit, and we are broadside, but we do have that speed boost, and it looks like he slams on the brakes there to let us go by. So no harm, no foul there. All we're trying to do is just get over here behind these islands before we get ripped to shreds on the sides. Then we can take it from there. Iowa, we try and line up a quick shot there, but you can see they all hit the island. No big deal there. Cleveland's in a position to start shooting at us. Of course, he's going to do that. A lot of people really hate, the HE spam and cruisers as battleship players. Go ahead and shoot them, because you can see once we take one salvo at this guy, especially like an American light cruiser, which cannot hold up to incoming fire, but any cruiser really, if you're shooting back at them, they're not designed to be taking shots from battleships. That just isn't how cruisers work. So once you shoot back at them, he's forced to go forward there. Now he can't shoot at us. So pretty easy to deal with if possible. Of course, you need someone on your team spotting him, which isn't always, it's easier said than done often. Going to go ahead and take a shot at the Odin, but look at the map here as you see how the play is developing. We got 3 grayed out battleships. These guys are all in a division. They're all Iowas. Now, if you're going to play in a division, number one, you all want to be in the same tier, which they check that box off. So that's step number 1. Number 2, play ships that complement each other. Battleships that are all located in the exact same position on the map do not complement each other. In fact, they hinder each other because you're effectively duplicating the effort. If you have 3 battleships over here that are all doing the same exact role, then effectively you're down 2 ships conceptually, if you want to look at it that way. Because there's 1 Iowa, or 3 Iowas is no more effective being in the same grid as each other on the map as 1 Iowa would be just by itself. So, having a destroyer over there, potentially a cruiser, or if you want to play a couple battleships, space them out to get these crossfires, as we're going to be demonstrating for the rest of this game here. That's how that division can be really effective, by doing the old black hole strategy where we're all stacked on top of each other. Now I can angle against all 3 Iowas, which makes it very easy to defend myself. The Cleveland still is checking our forward progress. As we talk about when we cover the American light cruisers, their main role is to prevent ships from moving forward. So the Cleveland's decided he wants to prevent us from moving towards those battleships, and he can stop us. He can keep raining down those golden showers on us. Nothing we can do. Luckily, we got the guy on B moving south to get a crossfire shot on him. Once he starts shooting at him, then the Cleveland's going to go forward. Once again, he cannot sustain incoming fire, so as soon as he starts taking fire, he's going to move from right to left, and as soon as we recognize that, we're going to gun it and attempt to cut him off and close in on these Iowas. Because you can see our team's positioning. We got 2 ships that haven't left the spawn in the north. We got 1 ship on the cap, basically in front of us, and then me. So from their perspective, we're fairly spread out. They can't necessarily perfectly angle against all of us, but it's not horrible yet. If we're able to move forward, though, then we're going to have perpendicular shots at these guys, and it's going to be lights out. So that's the goal here. Cleveland preventing us from doing so. Even though at this point in time he's low enough health where we could probably just charge and rush him that way, because he's, of course, doesn't have any torps. He's not a threat to us close range any more than he is long range. But once again, teammates start shooting him. Predictably, he goes the opposite direction. That's the correct play for him to do. Try and preserve his HP. But now we're moving forward to try and intercept him. Again, watching this back, this probably should have began about 30 seconds ago, but it's not the end of the world. Our teammates are going to take him down, and now watch what happens here. We're going to move forward full speed, basically, and we're going to attempt to pincer him. I'm actually going to slam on the brakes here. Why that is because these guys are all going right to left, the Iowas, around the other side of the base. Now, if my teammates weren't there, the guy that's on the screen, hugging the island on our team, and the guys to the north, if they weren't there, and I'm trying to deal with these Iowas, I go to the left of this big Iowa, or the big island that's right in front of me there. We want to go to where the ships are going, not where they were. It's a common mistake when you see people trying to chase someone down, especially once that ship goes around the island. They follow them around there. That's going to take 3, 4, 5 minutes just to get around the island, and then by the time you get there, the guy's already gone anyways. So let's go to where they're going. But here, we recognize once again our team is in the spawn. They're right there next to the island, and we're going to move forward. Because we have great mobility here, it's going to only take about a minute to do this. But this is the coup de grace. This is the scoring play. We talked about battleships. Getting into crossfire positions like this is a scoring play because you're directly converting their ship's HP, the team's total HP, into damage. And one way you can win the game, remove all the enemy team's HP. So once again, I would be a little hesitant going around these islands, but these guys have now stopped, so it's not as detrimental. But if they were going full speed, right to left, it would take a little while to catch up. But again, we're reacting to the map, we're reacting to our team's position as well as the red team's position. And now they're in trouble. Broadside Iowa here, we're going to take a shot, pop the reload boost, pummel this guy. We're just going to be switching off between these broadside Iowas. As long as they're broadside, we're going to be taking those shots. Yes, the guy that's closest to us, the correct play for him to make is to charge us and ram us and try and remove us. Because if he recognizes what's going on here, we threaten all 3 of these ships. We can kill all 3 of these ships in the matter of about 2 minutes total it would take, as long as we're getting some decent rolls of the dice from the game. So it'd be a tough play for him to make, but that's the play to make from his perspective. So we slam on the brakes. We don't want to get too close to him, but we continue to pop those broadsides. Those are the opportunities we wait all game for. When the opportunities are there, we're going to take them. We just got to keep an eye on this Iowa here, hoping for some friendly fire to crossfire him, because that battleship that was by the island, if he's still there, he should be able to get some crossfire shots. Here, normally we'd be aiming at the turrets in these duel situations. Aim right at the top of the top turret. That way the shells will skip right over it as he moves forward, and they get maximum penetration in the superstructure. Pretty meaty shot there. Finishes him off. Again, we were preventing him from trying to rush us and ram us. This guy, not nearly as close, so the correct play is to try and knock his turrets out. He angles in to get in a dueling situation. I am trying to hit the turrets. I'm aiming a little bit. I'm not leading them enough. Luckily, we get a nice robust shot in the superstructure there, which is a nice consolation prize. But truth be told, I am trying to knock those turrets out. I'm considering pulling up right into that dead body there that we just killed, the first Iowa, preventing him from ramming us. He would basically have to turn extremely hard around that ship, assuming it's still there, and ram us that way, which I don't think physically you could possibly do. But, as the ship count drops for the red team, as it's more and more likely that we're not going to lose this, I'm less and less afraid of getting rammed by this guy. And we continue to just try and shoot these turrets. Conceptually, when we're in a duel situation, nose in, well angled, knocking out a turret will reduce this guy's damage per minute by 50%. He's got 2 turrets in the front of his ship. I got 2 turrets in the front of my ship. Iowa here, once again, we've checked the map for a broadside. Not a perfect broadside, but better than an angled Iowa in front of us. Take that shot, make sure we get rid of him, and now we're back to this guy. But getting back to this, if you can reduce that damage output, that DPM, in these straight up fights, well, that's how you get the advantage here. Because if he's unable to knock out my guns, and we're firing at 100% capacity, we knock out one of his guns, he's down to 50%, or even both guns, 0%. Then he's forced to do something else. We'll kill him very easily. So we're going to go ahead and knock out the first gun there. Once in a while, you'll see Jean Bart's on Reddit or something complaining that they need a turret armor boost or buff. It's like a nearly indestructible ship for anything except for some of the legendary tier battleships. But it's very hard for them to get new turrets when they're stationed on the moon, so they don't like them getting knocked out. They'd rather get more armor applied to the turrets. Not going to happen. The ship's extremely strong. It needs a weak point. But we do angle those turrets away in between the salvos, and that will make it much harder for those to get knocked out. They're flat, vertically up and down in the front. They're angled on the side. So turn those turrets away, try and catch them on the reload, then let the turrets point back at them, shoot, and then angle them away. We're going to go ahead here, ramming speed. We'll shoot out the top turret, completely knock it out. You can see there, and then we'll go ahead and ram them. We don't have Francois Dewey, but JoJo's just as effective in the ram in this case, and that's the end of that one. So hopefully you enjoyed that one, guys. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave below. Love to hear from you guys, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.